Hi, this is Basil. In this video, I'm going to discuss groups. A social group on British Car Forum is sort of like a forum, except that you, the British Car Forum member, get to set it up and run it. It is essentially your personal forum. Why set up a group? Well, say you have an interest in a hobby that several other forum members share, like let's say rock collecting. You could set up a group called Rock Collectors or Rock Hounds, and now you have a place here on British Car Forum where you and others who share this interest can discuss that topic. Groups can be accessed by clicking on Community in the upper navigation menu, then selecting Groups from the drop-down. Once you're on the Groups page, you will see on the left My Groups, if you have joined any groups or if you own any groups. I can tell, for example, that I own the Photo Bugs group because I have an edit button and a delete button available to me. So I can edit this group or I can delete it entirely. It's up to me. The guitar group was set up by someone else, but I am a member. The only option I have is to leave this group if I decide I no longer wish to participate. In the center, we see recently updated groups. On the right, we see new groups. Just below the new groups, you will see categories. This tells you how many groups are in each category. Now, when you set up a group, you will be asked to select a category into which your group best fits. Current category selections are car clubs, computers, food, music, non-automotive hobbies, science and technology, photography and video, and then uncategorized. If you feel another category is needed for a group that you are setting up, just go ahead and select uncategorized and then let me know what category that you would like to add, and I'll go ahead and reassign your group to that category. To join a group, simply click on the Join button. You will then be asked, are you sure you want to join that group? If you click yes, you will either immediately join the group or you will be put into an approval queue for the owner of that group to approve your membership in that group, depending on how the group was set up, whether it was a public group or a moderated group. Public groups you will immediately join by clicking the yes button, but if it's a moderated group, the owner will have to approve you. I'm going to go ahead and say no to this group at this time. Okay, if you already belong to a group and you decide you want to leave that group and stop participating, all you have to do is click the Leave button and you will be basically disassociated with that group. To create a group, click on Create Group. The first thing you'll need to do is select a category for your group. Let's try non-automotive hobbies. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Rock Hounds. In here you can put in a description. Discussions of rocks. Okay, or whatever description you want to give it. Now, you then need to select what type of group you want it to be. A public group or a moderated group will basically allow anybody to join the group. The difference is a public group, members can join and start participating right away. If you choose a moderated group, then the individuals who want to join will basically have to have your permission, and you will get a notification of that, and I'll show you that in just a minute. You also see a couple of other options down here. The first two are pre-selected. Enable albums, that's if you want people to be able to upload pictures to your group, or enable messages. Both of these are pre-selected by default, and I highly recommend leaving those. Of course, if you don't have messages enabled, there's not much point in having a group. Then there are two other options. One says messages must be approved by the owner. That's if you want to moderate every single message. Not really recommended, but you have that option. And then users must join to view the content. So if you want to force users to join your group before they can read any messages in your group, you can select that option as well. Usually the default is the best way to go. Then you click the Save button. And now here you can add an image to your group. If you want to have an icon that represents your group, you can either use the URL and point to an image on some other website, or you can click Choose File and upload an image from your computer. And it is important that you note that there are size limitations to the images that you use that are noted right here. Okay, so if you try to upload or link to something bigger than that, it's not going to work. You can always add a group icon picture later if you don't have one ready right at this point. If you are not going to add an icon at this point, do not click Save Changes, but go ahead and click Skip. Now you have created a group which allows people to add pictures and post new discussions. Now, discussion threads in groups are very similar to how things are done in the regular forums, with a few exceptions, and I'm going to talk about the differences now. First, in forums, when you insert a picture, you can upload the picture from your computer directly into the post. However, in groups, when you go and click the picture icon, you only have an option to insert a URL or a web address. Now, one thing that you can do, and I'm going to demonstrate this in a moment, is you can upload a picture. If the group allows albums, you can upload pictures to the album and then capture or copy the address of that picture that you've uploaded to the album. And then just when you go ahead and want to paste in a URL, you paste that URL in. And I'll demonstrate that well, actually, I'll demonstrate it right now. Let's go back to groups, and I'm going to go ahead and go to Photo Bugs. And you can see I've got some pictures that have been added. And let's just say that I want to make a post, but I want to add a picture to my post. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on that picture, and I'm going to copy the image address. Then I go back, and I say I want to post, say, a new discussion. And let's say here's my new topic, whatever your subject is going to be, and here is a picture. And then I click on Insert Image, and I paste that address of that picture into here, and as you can see, it will place that picture into your post, and then you click Post Message. Now, another difference between the regular forum threads and groups is how you quote people. Let's say you're reading a thread and you want to quote somebody. Well, you don't have a lot of options, basically. If I scroll down here, you'll notice there's no reply with quote. There's just a button that says Post Message. So if I want to quote somebody from up above, let's say I want to quote this guy right here. I simply copy that to my clipboard. I come down and I can go ahead and go, there's a couple of ways to do it. Probably the easiest way is click on Go Advanced and then paste the stuff you want to quote, then highlight what you want to quote, and then click the little quote button. And you only see this little quote button when you're in the advanced mode. And notice what it does is it puts the quote and end quote tags on either side of that. Okay, and then I'm just going to say this is a test. And I'm going to delete this thread in a minute. But if I save that, I go ahead and post the message, you can see now that I have some quoted text right here, and then my text is right under that. So that's just how it works on groups. I don't know why it works differently than it does on regular forums, but that's just the way the software was designed. Now, if your group is moderated, okay, and that means that you have to approve anybody who wants to join, you'll notice that a couple of things. First of all, when somebody requests to join a group that you own, you're going to get a notification up here, just like you get when there's a private message. But this time it says there's one group join request. If I click on that, it tells me that there is somebody wants to join my group called Photobugs. So if I go ahead and go into that group, notice that since I own this group, I have some admin options right here. One of the options is pending and invited members. So I know that somebody's waiting to be approved, and I just made a test user here for demonstration. Make sure you click on whoever wants to join and then determine whether you want to accept or deny their membership. And once you do that, you go ahead and click Save Changes, and they will be notified that they now belong to the group. Another thing you can do from this area, from this pending and invited members area in your admin area, is you can invite a member. So if you type in a member's username right here and click invite, it will send that person a private message. Let me go ahead and send test user one just to show you how this works. And I click invite. And actually, I guess when I click invite, it's going to ask me to do that again. I'm not sure why that happened, but nevertheless, I go ahead and say, okay, I want to invite test user. Oh, it's telling me this member is already a member of this group. I guess because I've already got an active request by that person. So anyway, you can invite other members to join the group if you wanted to invite somebody specifically. So that's how groups work. If you have any questions, of course, you can always go out here to the main forums, and under our forum navigation help forum, you can post a question about groups in here, and we'll be happy to answer them. And I hope that you have fun with the groups, and if you have any questions, like I said, just feel free to ask. Bye-bye.